This is your Daily 5 for Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. For the first of this week's movies, which aren't really thematic, we don't have a monthly theme, but I do try to somewhat connect the movies of the week for the most part, just because it's kind of a fun exercise. But anyway, the first movie is one that we actually meant to watch a while ago. I want to say 2 months ago or so, where I think it was during the Italian themed month or whatever, but because I own the Blu-ray for this film, but I had ripped the wrong audio track because I didn't realize that the English track was in fact the commentary track, because there is no English version of this. It's either Italian. Well, no, it's Italian. That's it. So I had to re-rip it and get the correct subtitle track, really make it. And then we watched 1992's Murder in Blue Light. This was the third film included in the Forgotten Giallo Volume 9 Vinegar Syndrome box set, which apparently is no longer available. And like I said, we had watched the other two previously, but we meant to watch this one and very quickly realized that we didn't have the right track for it. So we did watch it, and much like the other Forgotten Giallo box set, this set has all winners, in my opinion. Now, the thing about this box set as opposed to the other one is these are all 90s movies, either early to mid-90s. This one, of course, 1992. And you still have enough of that 80s sensibility that if somebody were to tell you it took place in the late 80s, there would really be nothing in the movie that would contradict that. The bright kind of big colors that came in the 90s aren't there. It's still the kind of very pastel pinks and blues, very kind of Argento lighting. It does still feel in many ways like a mid-80s film, even though it was released in 92. So I'm not sure if it was filmed a number of years before and got held up or what, but watching this, you would not necessarily peg it as something that took place in the 90s, but that's when it's from. The movie is a murder mystery, very similar to a lot of other movies that Lando and I have watched before, where there is red herrings and characters that are presented as possible killers who very clearly are not, and then a bit of a convoluted explanation that isn't so convoluted that it didn't occur to me as we were watching it. However, that might be a byproduct of me having watched so many of these films at this point that I have started to come up with these sort of left field possibilities that they often result in. But the movie overall is very entertaining. If you like these types of movies, then you're going to like this one. It doesn't go too far off the beaten path. Certainly nothing like Obsession to Taste for Fear did or anything like that. It is definitely operating within the standard Giallo rules. But again, if you are a fan of those types of films, then that's a good thing. And in this case, we both had a really good time with this. Everybody in it, they're all speaking Italian, but they all appear to be doing a very good job. I have to point out that this movie shot a few days in New York City, and it's very obvious that they shot a few days in New York City because the character that's shown walking around the city and then the other character shown driving around the city are always wearing the exact same clothes, even though days should have passed, and always driving the exact same car in the same places, even though by the story's narrative, they would not be in the exact same locales. That's all delightful side stuff, and it's certainly not a criticism. It just will be obvious to those who are paying a bit of attention that they did not film the entirety of this in New York City. The city streets that they show clearly would not be American city streets. You can pick these things out right away if you're just paying a bit of attention. But again, none of that is bad. That's all charming. It's delightful. The story itself is perfectly serviceable. Nothing that will shock you or surprise you in any major way, except perhaps for the ultimate identity of the killer, because it's not really choreographed, but it kind of is if you can move a couple of pieces around yourself as it's going on. So again, very entertaining, very, very firmly locked within the Giallo formula. Feels like an 80s film, even though it's in the early 90s. None of these are complaints. None of this is bad. I just don't want you to think this is going to be something that's going to really surprise you in ways that the best examples of these genre entries do, where there's something really interesting or innovative or surprising. Instead, this is a comfort Giallo film, if such a thing could exist. So again, the title is Murder in Blue Light from 1992, part of that Volume 9 box set. A lot of fun if operating within familiar guidelines. Later.